You should listen to Mike Novogratz' live commentary on the cryptocurrency market on CNBC. We will also discuss some updates about the Genius Act. I have all the information, and it appears that a vote will take place early next week. Here, we will examine Kevin Oley. We're going to discuss XRP, and he has some information. A ton of information and news, of course. Let's get started right here. I hope everyone is doing well. Let's get it. Enjoy your weekend. I also adore you all very much. I appreciate all of your help. Let's get this done. Roughly 104,000. By the way, I recall that when we were beginning to recover from the April lows, gold might have made the initial move. You mentioned that you knew exactly when gold went, but what was the specific data point? It seemed like cryptocurrency followed, and sure enough, here we are. We saw a period of euphoria around the inauguration, which was caused by a number of factors, including Trump coin. People say, okay, and cryptocurrency returned to test the location of the election breakout. It appears that we will eliminate legs 106, 107, and 108 and go on to legs 130 and 150. You're in price discovery at that time, correct? I continue to believe that cryptocurrency is worth $2 trillion and gold is worth $22 trillion. And eventually, as more and more young people inherit money for their elderly parents, you're going to see cryptocurrency equal gold. It's a long way from here, too. Okay. You have the cryptocurrency bill as well. I'll just demonstrate. The goal of the Genius Act, according to Bohines, is to safeguard American finance's future. Stablecoins strengthen U.S. dollar dominance, modernizing our outdated payment rails and giving Americans faster, cheaper, and transparent ways to move money. Digital asset technology is the next generation of finance. The United States is ready to lead. And so, it does look like after some negotiation from Democrats, they got some more protections for consumers, and now they're ready to put this to a vote. So the primary cryptocurrency legislation for the Senate is next week, and the Genius Act will be focused on establishing federal regulatory framework for stablecoins pegged to the U.S. assets. The purpose: the bill aims to create the first comprehensive U.S. regulatory framework for payment stablecoins addressing consumer protections, anti-money laundering, and national security. The restrictions on who can issue stable coins. Recent developments after failing to advance last week due to Democratic objections primary over anti-money laundering provisions, SEC national security and consumer protection. So this is what Democrats voted no. They wanted these things in the bill. Republicans didn't have these things in the bill, or they wanted more protections in the bill, and so that's what they did. They stood strong, which is what we want, right? We want all of these things in the bill. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has filed for closure on the Genius Act with a procedural vote scheduled for Monday. The purpose of the procedural vote is to limit debate and move the bill forward in a final passing vote, which requires 60 votes. And if the bill was rushed and lacks these protections, these are things that protect you, right? They protect you. So yes, we want those things in the bill. And there are concerns about President Trump's cryptocurrency holdings. Well, what are you going to do, man? The reason this is so important is because, stable coins are going to be a vital piece of America's national security. When I say that, I mean the bond market. So you are going to need at least 12 Democrats to come over. And now that they got what they wanted to, hopefully that happens. The yield on the 10-year bond is used to set mortgage rates, credit card rates, student loan rates, and any other rate that you take out. The base rate at the moment is just over 4.5%. Of course, the bank needs to make money, so you're looking to pay, say, 6 or 7% on a loan right now, which is just very difficult, right? Back in 2020, you could get a loan for like 1%, right? So cheap. It was so cheap, and now you can't because of all of these things. We're hoping that rates will drop over the next few months, but stable coins will be a key component here because Japan, China, and other allies are beginning to dump treasury bonds because they see how much debt America has and how we're not taking that debt seriously. We continue to add and add and add. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. If you look at the last 20 years, they've added $36 trillion since early 2000. You got Bush, you got Clinton, and pardon me, Clark was the only one who was able to balance the budget. You got Trump, you got Biden, and now you got Trump again. Spending is still up. Spending is up even more under Trump's term than it was the same time under Biden's term when Biden took over. So we are still out there spending money that we don't have, and countries are worried about this debt, and so that is why that they are dumping, and they're also dumping for a strategic position, say, hey, you don't want to give us a good trade deal, we're going to dump these, we're going to dump your debt, and if the 10-year yield gets above 5%, that's going to be pretty bad, right? Because that is America's product, is financial services. Come invest your money in our banks, in our country, in our markets, and it will be safe and secure, and we will get you a return. If U.S. markets are in free fall, everybody's going to go put that money somewhere else. So this is why you need stable coin issuers to buy treasury bonds that other countries are dumping, because treasury bonds are what you are or you used, and other securities to back up stable coins. All right? Stable coins are the Trojan horse for U.S. dollar dominance confirmed. With stable coins, the United States doesn't need to force other nations. Instead, cryptocurrency native financial services end up reinforcing the dollar's reach organically. This is the plan. Embrace stable coins, regulate them, and keep them within the U.S. framework, and let the free market do the rest. And so that's what it's saying here in the highlighted portion. You also have Kevin O'Leary here talking about Let Me Play. I love the idea of innovation. The money center banks have been sitting on their hands for years crapping on the crypto industry, but it's not about Bitcoin. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin. The promise is in digital payment systems. Let's all hope that happens while we're still here. Okay, so Jay Clavers here says, when could a reverse carry trade happen? That's the incredible opportunity we have here. Now, the reason that will be important and why we'll get price appreciation on Bitcoin is that the minute that happens, it will signal the move to the next act, the Market Infrastructure Act. And why that matters to everyone in this room is that we'll finally determine whether Bitcoin is a commodity or a security. And once that is decided and regulated, Katie bar the doors, $1 trillion will come and index that asset on US dollars. Alright, so here's key features. Multi-currency oil trading, reduced dollar dominance, geopolitical realignment, financial innovation, and then implications for the US. The end of the exclusive petrodollar agreements could reduce the automatic recycling of oil revenues into US assets, potentially rising in borrowing costs and diminishing US financial leverage. Does talk about for oil exporters greater flexibility in currency choice, provides more anonymity, and helps hedge fund to hedge against dollar volatility and U.S. sanctions, and for global markets to transition to the Petro $2 no could result in more balanced multipolar currency system through the U.S. dollar is expected to remain as a dominant if less exclusive grade currency for the foreseeable future. Alright, here's everything else. There you go, guys. I hope this was a pretty fun video. Well educated. Now you know a whole lot more about, Petrodol 1, Petro $2. We also talked about Genius Act and so much more in this video. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you made it to the end, please let me know down in the comments. If you haven't hit like, please do that too. And if you think this video is good enough to share with your friends or family, I would really appreciate you. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm Crypto Sensei.